Welcome back to the channel. I'm here with another video for you today. The news for today is about the most requested game, Titanfall 3. I'm sure I'm not the only one who is always looking for positive news about this game. Millions of people around the world are eager for Titanfall 3 information, positive or negative. We did get an update about the game, but it wasn't exactly the kind of thing we wanted to hear. So let us know in the comments what you think about this Titanfall 3 update. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future content. And let's get into this. On June 13th, Respawn Entertainment actually broke their silence about Titanfall 3, and one of the team members actually acknowledged the game for the first time in months. Our intel comes from Mohammed Alavi, a former Respawn developer who had also worked with Infinity Ward during the Call of Duty Golden Age before signing on with the new studio in the early days. The common narrative in the gaming community is that Titanfall 3 never actually got off the ground due to the financial disappointment of Titanfall 2. Despite being a fantastic game and one of the best reviewed FPS titles of all time, Titanfall 2's release window and less than stellar marketing caused it to severely underperform financially, selling roughly 4 million copies, which obviously is still a lot of copies, but it was well below EA's high hopes, especially when compared to other 2016 shooters like Battlefield 1. So even though it was a solid performance, it was a massive disappointment, and EA lost confidence in the IP's ability to compete with other major shooter franchises, or at least that's how we thought things went down. According to Mohammed Alavi, in a recent interview, Titanfall 3 actually did get off the ground, and it took a while for the plug to be pulled. Alavi states that Titanfall 3 started production after the launch of Titanfall 2 and was actually in the works for about 10 months before being shut down. Well, for comparison, Titanfall 2 was only in development for about 2 years before going gold. So Titanfall 3 was actually pretty far into production, and Alavi claims that there were multiple missions going. He also stated that the tech was fully in place and that while it wasn't a revolutionary jump from Titanfall 2, it was incrementally better, which is really all we could have asked for given how solid 2 already was. However, Alavi also claims that EA had nothing to do with the game's cancellation or Respawn Entertainment's pivot into the Battle Royale genre. He claims that near the end of Titanfall 3's 10 months of production, the team came together and had a meeting to talk about making the multiplayer mode more accessible and possibly also finding an avenue to dive into the Battle Royale genre, which was exploding in popularity at the time thanks to Fortnite. After that meeting, the team quickly came up with a prototype of a Titanfall Battle Royale game and then made the decision to pivot production towards a full-fledged Battle Royale game as opposed to making Titanfall 3 with a BR mode attached to it. So it was actually Respawn themselves that shut down Titanfall 3, not EA. Alavi made it very clear that the team was at a crossroads. They could either make Titanfall 3, which would basically be Titanfall 2, but a little bit better, or they could completely pivot and focus all their efforts on this new Battle Royale project that the team was really excited about, and obviously they chose the latter. Obviously, the decision to shift focus to Apex Legends was the right one in terms of financial success and maintaining the Titanfall IP, but for fans, it's pretty hard to hear that Respawn were the ones who shut down Titanfall 3. A lot of us were perfectly happy just blaming EA for the lack of Titanfall 3. But when you look at things from Respawn's perspective at the time, I think you can see where they were coming from. They poured their hearts and souls into Titanfall 1 and 2, and both of them ended up being financial disappointments due to factors that were completely out of their control. You know, when given the opportunity to shift focus and work on something that would likely appeal to a wider audience, I think it's totally understandable for them to have wanted to change. Respawn has expressed a desire to continue the Titanfall franchise in the future, but with this new information about how exactly Titanfall 3 died, it throws the timeline into question and certainly makes me wonder if the team is ever going to fully commit to restarting the project. And I guess you could say that Titanfall 3 could be pushed through development relatively quickly now that we know about 10 months of work had already been done, but that was also back in 2016, 2017, so anything that was done would likely have to be done over again with modern tech. Either way, it's fascinating to learn more about this game's tragic history, but it stings a little bit to know that we were actually a lot closer to Titanfall 3's launch than we initially thought. But what do you guys think? Do you think Respawn made the right call shifting their focus to Apex Legends? Be sure to let us know in the comments. Subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you don't miss any future content, and we'll see you in the next one.
You know the rules, and so do I. Say goodbye.